Hello there. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Jessica. And today on Summer in the Middle, we're in our final day in New York City.
Last day of sightseeing. Actually, not even a full day of sightseeing. Short little bit of sightseeing. 9/11 Memorial. Maybe the Irish Foundry Memorial. And fly home. So, let's go. World Trade One. It's the building that was erected in its place. Yeah.
The 9/11 Memorial was designed by architect Michael Arad and landscape architect Peter Walker. The memorial was designed to remember the attacks in New York City on September 11th, 2001, which killed 2,977 people, and also includes the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, which also killed 6 people. The memorial is located at World Trade Center site, the former location of the Twin Towers that were destroyed during those attacks. And the reflective pools represents the void that those buildings left following the attack. The north and south reflecting pools both feature waterfalls that cascade down. The north tower, the water was not turned on for whatever reason and left a very hollow sound to the space. Whereas at the south tower, reflecting pool with the water on, it left a much different feeling. Both towers leave an immense void and create a massive feeling of reverence for the first responders that came and risked their lives and the people that have passed.
City filled with skyscrapers. You certainly may feel the absence to walk in this memorial is one heck of a emotional experience. Reading the names, all the people that responded and helped out, all the people that passed. Definitely a lot of reflection at this space. Time for some 7th Street burger. Says what locals say she should get over Shake Shack. We shall see.
There's the pickle. Nice pickle.
Alright, give it a bite.
That's good. Really good.
It
Very cheesy and onions. Got the pickle. Oh,
looks like a patty melt meets
yeah.
an In-N-Out burger.
Kind of. Yeah.
Just no lettuce, tomato, or onion. Hayden loves the pickle. Well, I didn't buy the pickle, so.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That's so good. Uh-oh.
That's good.
I think the Tillamook burger on the airplane has a contender now.
Yeah.
Oh.
For sure.
All right. Grilled onions, smash burger.
Eye roll to the back of the head. It's like a shark eating.
This is perfect hangover burger. Greasy. Delicioso. Oh.
Perfect hangover food. Would great at late night snacks after partying or something.
I see why people say try 7th Street and why so many of these have opened up around the city.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
Beats out In-N-Out any day. Sorry, In-N-Out. Not sorry.
I don't see any Bible verses on my food either.
And I got Mexican Coke.
Yeah. And to be honest, our French fries are fire. They don't even need all that sauce, but they're good.
But I like the fact that that's like a meal right there, more than just the fries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So this is the Irish Hunger Memorial. They brought actual land from Ireland. Placed it here. As you guys know, Irish immigrants played a huge role in New York City. Irish immigrants often were not necessarily liked all that well.
Immigration, we have seen, is the oldest action against poverty.
It's cool. This thing is really cool, but like it's hard to read because it goes on so far, and it's like, I don't know, like you have to go back all the way. This whole thing stretches with sort of explaining. Really neat. I love how, again, like above it, you can see the this massive Ireland. This piece of Ireland. South Dorafan is a reflection of a crowded workhouses of Ireland. 1840s, or the crowded hulls of the coffin ships, or the delousing reception centers across the Atlantic. Irony of ironies. Much of the relief food arriving in Muglin comes from the same sources as replacement food that fed starving Irish robbed of their corn as payment to absentee landlords. It's America's grain. Famine is not a mere deficiency of food, but often an absolute lack of food. For people under famine, the question of qualities of food simply does not arise. Quaker shops dispense nutritious soup for a penny a quart. The government followed with the Soup Kitchen Act in 1847. It's cool. Spend a whole day just reading this stuff, to be honest. And then there's the bay. That's the other side. That's not the Hudson. What side of the water is this? Do we know? Me neither. We've been staying on the other side where you can see the Hudson. You can see the Statue of Liberty there.
Look, we don't even need to go to it now.
So the river we were seeing from our hotel room was the Hudson. That was the East River.
Oh, okay.
This is the Hudson.
Oh,
Look at her stand.
there she is.
Welcoming. What's opening on?
Under the golden arm. Ye be the golden light. All right, let's make our way into the Irish Hunger Memorial. Take a wee stroll through.
Willful waste makes willful want.
It dwells in memory as long as one long night of sorrow. Woeful waste makes woeful want. Every day, 25% of our food supply is wasted. That's so true. To keep you is no benefit. To destroy you is no loss. Well-fed people have many problems. Hungry people only have one. Hunger will break through a stone wall. The well-fed does not understand the lean. What greater human right is there than the right to eat? It's cool. This is almost like I don't know, 2001 is what I was thinking. There you go. The rock from Ireland.
Hey guys.
Little cool by the water, huh? Need some Gaelic music playing.
Yeah.
Me fiddle, me flute. So cool. Makes me think of well, plenty of Irish movies to think of, but common or recent memory. And of course, I can't even think of the dang name of it. What the heck was that movie called? Brooklyn? No, Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson.
Irishman?
No, it's a movie about New York. Or freaking killers, mafia types. Really cool. Little memorial. It's too bad. Oh, I guess it's there. No, it's too bad this like ferry thing here is blocking the actual view of the Statue of Liberty. Like, Han. Like the different names there. But yeah, kind of, that's the only downside is this little Port Authority ferry terminal is blocking the view of Statue of Liberty. The movie I was thinking of, Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, is Banshees of Inisherin? I don't know how to pronounce those. Banshees of Inisherin. Interesting movie. Tell the friendship.
Why aren't you talking to Porrig no more?
That wouldn't be a sin now, would it, Father?
No, but it's not very nice either, is it?
Do you know who we remember for how nice they was in the 17th century?
Who?
Absolutely no one. Yet we all remember the music of the time. Everyone to a man knows Mozart's name.
I don't. There goes that theory.
Every rock is a different place. We got Galloway. Up there was, again, each one of these rocks came from a different, probably city in Ireland. Province, I don't know. Donegal. Limerick.
That's crazy. Mayo Rock.
Mayo. Everyone knows
Mayo. In Taiwan.
Mayo. Don't see a name. It's probably washed over. Washed over. This one's down. There she be Dublin.
Literally, Lightroom, play. Okay. It's cool. Neat little idea to have, again, the pieces of Ireland here. You guys want to learn more about this? Let's take a photo of that QR code. Learn more about the Irish Humber Memorial here. Ellis Island over there, as well as, of course, Statue of Liberty. New York City. Oh, we're in New York City on the train to ERW on our way home. Back to the Sunshine State, California. Well, all right. Taking the train. We're taking the train from Penn Station, New York City. We're now here in Newark. Getting ready to fly home. New York Public Transit has been pretty good to us.
I couldn't get it.
I said New York Public Transit's been pretty good to us.
Yes, it has. We maneuvered it pretty well. I don't think we got on the wrong train at all.
No, as well as Newark or New Jersey Transit. They
Same.
chose not to do that. And we're on the Airbus to the airport. Air tram. Either way. Cool. Much easier to get around. Flight home is ready. Almost ready. Waiting to board.
I have one more layer underneath that.
I'm ready to go home.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fun vacation.
Yeah, it was.
That we're back in LA. Welcome back to LA. Well, we're back in Los Angeles.
We sure are.
It's a couple days later. We're back. And we had quite a trip to New York City.
Yes, we did.
Hi, Bagheera. I guess we should start this by prefacing the reason we went to New York City was because our daughter and her high school band, they performed. Their wind ensemble band performed at Carnegie Hall, as you saw in episode 3. And that was the whole cause of this
Visit to New York.
visit to New York.
For the second time, actually, for us.
Hi, Bagheera. Say hello to our audience. Hi, guys. This is Bagheera. He's a member of our family here. And he's the one making noise.
Yeah, our firstborn 8 years ago.
Firstborn went about 8 years ago. Yeah, he did the same thing with his wind ensemble. We got to come back again and do it
One more time for the last child.
one more time. I would say, having been to New York 2 times and mostly stayed in the city and experiencing it, I don't need to go back to New York City, the island of Manhattan again. If I go back to New York City, I want to go to Brooklyn and spend way more time in Brooklyn. I want to go to Queens. I want to go to Staten Island. Like, I've seen Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing left that we haven't done in our 2 trips to Manhattan is museums.
Yeah.
And that's a big one. I've always wanted to see the Guggenheim. To be honest, in episode 3,
episode 4, we went to a Broadway musical. That day, our intentions were actually to do museums. But while I was in the shower, I overheard Jess and my son Aiden, who you saw in all the episodes, talking about that would be the one thing that they're going to regret. Leaving New York, and we still haven't seen a Broadway musical. We've gone 2 times and haven't seen a Broadway musical. So I immediately in my head said, Ixnay, the museums, let's figure out a Broadway musical and let's do that. And again, as we said in that episode, we do not recommend last-minute Broadway musical. You could do it, you're just not going to get the best seats unless you want to pay a bunch of money. Especially on that last, waiting to the last minute.
As far as where we stayed, the first time we did an Airbnb up in the Cuban district, right?
Yeah, Spanish Harlem.
And so it was more residential. And then this time we stayed in Times Square, or right next to Times Square. We stayed at the Westin and paid way more than I anticipated. I thought I was using Priceline to save money in this situation. That didn't happen. But not just the price. It had a nice view, but the busyness of Midtown, I'm done. I definitely preferred being in the residential areas where it was calmer, more peaceful. Like when I go to visit somewhere, I kind of feel like I live there for a minute, like, and see what does it feel like to live here. Not as a tourist, but more as like a resident. I think that's the way we like to travel, is be more residential versus touristy. And so, so if I'm going to talk about where we stayed, I would definitely not stay Midtown again.
Yeah. And to back that up, like if you're coming to California or you're coming to LA, you want to see LA, you want to see California, do not stay in Hollywood.
No.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Stay in, like, if you need to be in that experience, go to Santa Monica and stay in Santa Monica or something. But do not stay in Hollywood. Don't stay on the Sunset Strip. Don't stay on Hollywood Boulevard. Walking Hollywood Boulevard is a thing all in itself.
But it's a one-day experience.
It's a one-day experience. And you're over it very quickly, much like Times Square, at least in my opinion. I'm sure there are plenty of people that all the stores, all the bright lights and the glamour is fun. I'm not about that.
I would say stay by the beach or something,
Yeah. I think one other thing I would love to touch on about New York City, and I live in California. I live in a kind of a segregated community. And, the majority of the community I live in is Hispanic and Vietnamese or Asian, Chinese. And diversity of New York City is, I just love it. I love hearing a different language as you walk down the street. Everywhere you go, there's a variety of languages being there. And I know that's not just because it's a tourist area. The diversity of New York City is vast. And compared to where we live, New York City was night and day to that. And it was fun to be like walking down the street and hearing a German accent and then hearing a Swedish accent and then hearing, someone from the Middle East. I don't want to, Syria maybe, I don't know. But just crazy how much diversity there is in New York City. I don't want to spend too much time you've seen the episodes. And if you haven't seen the episodes, please go back and watch our 5 days in New York. We had a great time there. We had fun making this content for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But last thing I think we should maybe touch on is experience and food. Some of our favorite things over the course of the 5 days. What do you think, babe?
The pizza with the hot honey is like my favorite food. It just stands out even days later. Yeah, Village Square pizza was delicious. And it wasn't a New York style pizza. I know. Yeah. Doesn't matter. It had the pepperoni cups. It had that honey, that sweet, spicy honey on it. The crust was perfect. And I don't know if it's just because we were so hungry too at that point. It was the first meal of the day, but that was just a very memorable bite for me. I could almost still hear the crunch.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a toss up between the Nonna Maria, which is the classic New York slice at Bleecker Street Pizza, or what Jess just said, Village Square. Their Sicilian slice, that square pizza, the pepperoni cups with the hot honey, delicious. It was so good. Yeah, the pizza was top notch. Everything else, I'd probably go right behind that Sarge's. Sarge's was great. We overate. Sarge's felt like a place that I would go time and time again when I was in New York City. The dumpling tour was great, but I felt like some of the places I really wanted to go to were overcrowded. I could use 3 more days in Chinatown to really get a full
Yeah.
idea. I got my fill of New York pizza.
Yeah.
I didn't get my fill of Chinese food
That's true.
in New York City.
I mean, if we had to go back, we could go back again. However,
Yeah.
I think that neither of us are really that big as city folks when we usually go traveling or when we're going to spend money.
More outdoorsy.
More outdoorsy, less city. But in this
Yeah.
situation, it wasn't really a choice. It's like, oh, well, we want to see our kid perform, so we're going to New York City. The destination was kind of predetermined. I don't know that I would go out of my way now because there's so many other places I'd like to go back to New York. Not that there's not more you can do there, but
Yeah.
it's just not going to be at that top of that list at this point.
And
What
last,
about favorite memory, like place we visited?
yeah, lastly, favorite place, experience, thing we visited. It's kind of twofold. I honestly didn't think this would be where I'm saying right now, but seeing the 9/11 memorial, we didn't do the museum. We didn't really have the time. I don't know if I was in the headspace for the museum, but just seeing the memorial, reflecting on what that was, you know, so many years ago in 2001, 23 years ago now, almost, right? Reliving that day, it was immediate that you felt the void, that you felt the loss, you felt the sadness that happened. I don't know, it was just a beautiful, beautiful memorial. The water falling, something I don't mention while we were there, but the water falling, to me, there was stuff that, like, it was hard. Like, I kind of envisioned the people that fell out of the towers, and like, it was like this empty space that's still there, and it's just going down and down and down. And I don't know, it was an epic, you can't really put enough words on how memorable that thing was. Mm-hmm. My second thing, though, just because, was making my kid happy. Aiden, he wanted to see Sweeney Todd. I had no interest in that musical, and you do things for your kids that matter to them. At the end of it, I mean, I was crying through that thing. I loved the experience, so I'm glad that I heard him and Jess saying that they didn't want to leave New York without seeing a Broadway musical. I'm glad I let him pick it. He got to see it with his girlfriend, and that was a great experience. Is you know, doing something for other people. I truly believe life is for service. And, you know, you don't be a father of four and be very selfish. You worry about your family. And that was just a very memorable moment for me in the city there. So how about you, babe?
It's kind of hard to pick. I think that the first thing that kind of came to my head was Sweeney Todd, seeing theater, just being big theater fans, loving musicals, and just going to see theater in New York was I didn't realize how high I think on the top of my list it was, but I'm glad we made it happen.
Yeah.
I also was thinking, like, Grand Central Station was so cool to see that. Like, it was so whoa when I walked in there. I didn't expect to be wowed so much by that place.
Yeah.
But the 9/11 memorial was very emotional for me. And I mean, not very emotional, but I mean, I got emotional, and seeing the endless list of names that just kept going on and on and on around the fountains just really moved me.
People.
Having lost family members who are first responders, knowing that sacrifice that they put up, and then to see how many of those first responders, not just one, not just two, but it went on a really, 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 they had each, like, wall has like sections of, like, there was the people on the flight, there were the people who worked in the building, and then there were the first responders, and it just kept going and going and going and going and going, and then I couldn't believe how far that went. And so for me, it was definitely emotional. It brought back some of the trauma that we all experienced. Even if we weren't there, there was trauma here, you know, hearing what was happening on your way to work. All of a sudden you're looking at LA City, knowing that something just happened in New York, not even understanding it, you know, like, just, it took me back, and I don't think I would have been prepared for the museum, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have to be done in layers for me. So it's hard to say it was my favorite. I just, like, that was the most emotional. Like, you don't usually expect to get touched emotionally, I feel like, by a visit, but in that sense, that was a very interesting moment or time. So, I mean, I even enjoyed the tram.
The Skyway was awesome.
I mean, you know, there was so
Roosevelt
many good
Island
things.
was cool. That was a bucket list thing for me to go to Roosevelt Island. I'm sad I didn't get to go down and actually touch Roosevelt and, like, see that face up close. It's okay though. It was still a great experience. We got in. We got to see the smallpox hospital. So many. I mean, like, I could lump all the sightseeing stuff into one big thing. And again, yes, please watch our episodes. Go back if you haven't. Go watch them again, for all that matters. Anyways, thank you so much for coming along this journey with us to New York City. I hope you guys enjoyed our adventures there. It was a blast. And If you're not already and you're still watching at this point in time in the video, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Auf Wiedersehen. Take care.
Bye.